Hey y'all. So, I want to talk about parenting. A lot of people don't like talking about parenting, but I'm ready to talk about parenting. I never had an issue with talking about parenting. I actually tell people about parenting because I talk about myself, right? When it comes to parenting. See, one thing about me, I can keep it honest and keep it real. And they say it takes a village to raise a child, but at the same time, like, every village is not the village that's supposed to be raising your child. Take it from experience, I know. You got people that shouldn't be raising kids, raising kids. You got people that didn't raise their kids, trying to tell you how to raise your kid. How you gonna tell me how to be a parent or a mama and you ain't never been a damn mama a day in your life? You ain't even raised your own kids. So how you gonna tell me how to be a parent? How you gonna tell me how to parent my kid when you cuss your kid out every single day? You call them bitches and hoes and shit. And that's not the way I want to parent. We all have our own parenting ways. Parenting doesn't come with no book. I've been a parent since I was 16 years old. My mother left Michigan months after I had my son. So I had to do this parenting thing alone, even though I was in a home with his father and his grandmother, but I still parented alone. I still had to figure it out by myself, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's nothing wrong with that. Throughout the years, I was married majority of my damn life, except for 5 years of after high school. It's only 5 years I haven't been married back then. But my parenting, how do I feel as a mother? I feel like I'm not the best parent. I feel like I try to do better daily. I feel like I messed my kids up? Far as they're spoiled, yeah. I affected them is the question, and I've affected them tremendously, and I can say that. My kids have, the two younger kids, the things that I went through, they were babies, but my oldest two, they were affected tremendously, and I can say that. Like my daughter, she went through some things, and because that verbal is a motherfucker. I mean, that verbal will play a role, and me choosing the people that I've chosen in my life is my fault. I don't blame anyone but myself. I can say that my daughters love their mother tremendously. I can say that. I can say that throughout my trials and tribulations of with whom I've chosen to deal with, they love me, right? That I can say. Me and my daughter have been into it twice. Only 2 times. And, I got to saying some things to her. And the things that I said to her were horrible. It was horrible. And I had to listen to myself in the inside. And I'm like, this is not what you want. You're acting the way that they acted towards you. You don't want to act that way. You don't want to act how you were raised towards your daughter. You want different. You want better for her. And so I had to suck it up and make it better for her. But the environment that I had her in, which every house that I had was beautiful. It was a beautiful home. But I'm speaking on the toxic, that the people that was around me were very toxic. And during that time of going through domestic violence, I tried to stay drunk the whole damn time because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with it. People thought that I was partying because I wanted to party. No, I was actually drinking to fill the void. I wanted something to take my mind off of the bullshit that I was going through. I didn't want to be a mother. I felt like I literally gave up on myself as a mother. I gave up on myself. The only thing I cared about was, y'all go to school, what y'all gonna eat, the things that's needed to give a kid. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about what you're going through, how you feel today. I couldn't care. I didn't think about that. As a mother, I didn't think about that. It didn't matter to me because I was sunk into my own depression. I was sunk into my own self. They say that, my uncle had told me one time, he said, if you was on an airplane and the airplane was going down, who would you say first? And at this time I had one kid, and I said, I say my son. He said, how you gonna say your son when you can't say yourself? And I thought about that, and I'm like, if something happened to me, then something gonna happen to him. So I gotta put the oxygen tank on myself, you know, and then I could put it on him. So at that time I was going through depression, all types of stuff. My children have seen me be abused. They have seen me be talked to any type of way. They have seen me mentally decline. My oldest two have seen that. You know, I've said some things to them. I've done some things to them. Can't take it back. But I do feel a way, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I remember a time where I had to pull a weapon, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it really wasn't on my son. It was really on the situation. And at this time, like, he will never understand it, but it was like, I either allow these motherfuckers to jump you and then I get my ass whooped by a man, or let me pull this motherfucker out. And the whole house got quiet after that. Nobody was gonna touch him. That night I was gonna go to jail. And at the end of the day, you know, that was a traumatic experience for him. You know, him seeing me, or them seeing me go through abuse, verbal, physical, and mental, was traumatic experiences for them. And I can talk about that because I could be honest about it. You know, my daughter, she went through something. That's her own story to tell. But she went through something. And, you know, people threw that up in my face. Oh, your daughter has been molested. Not by my husband. She wasn't. You know, like, not by my husband. It's a difference if he touched her. He didn't touch her. And we didn't find that out until she was 5 years old. I didn't find it out. Yeah, she went and got a little help. She sure did. But I don't have to prove myself to anybody. I don't have to prove who I am as a mother. But I know as a mother, my children have been through some shit because of my choices, because of what I put them through as a mother. Thank God I didn't turn to drugs and shit like that. It was just alcohol. Thank God. But the fighting and the fussing and the cussing, and that wasn't an environment that they were used to. They were used to peace and quietness. They were used to real co-parenting. They were used to those things. One thing that I can say that I do appreciate about my daughter's father is the fact that anything that the whole situation, because I allowed them to go to Michigan with their other parent when I was going through my situation. I was like, I'd rather my son, you know, I wanted him to be with his father, and I wanted her to go with her father because that's their daddy. And my thing was, you know, I'll see y'all when I get there. And this was 2017 when I first left. And it was crazy, it was wild. But one thing that he never did, my oldest daughter father, he never tried to have my daughter against me. He said, no matter what your mama going through, she's gonna come out of this. She's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna raise you at this time. You know, it wasn't in those exact words, but he didn't have her turn on me. He never called CPS on me. He never tried to down me to my daughter. You know, that I can respect him for that wholeheartedly. I respect him for that. I don't like him now, but I can respect him for that. He never whispered little things into her ear. He never did those things. And the fallout that me and my daughter has had, you know, but my thing is, when it comes to my parenting skills, I have to communicate more. I don't communicate with my babies. I communicate with them, but I'm mute all the time because I'm a thinker. I'm always thinking. Like, I want more for my kids. I want more. And if I feel like I'm not giving them more, like, I feel like they're supposed to have more than what they have, you know? It's more than just eating. It's more than just clothes on your back. It's more than just education. It's more to life than just that. And I feel like I'm not giving that to them in spite of everything that they've been through already. I want to be the best version of a mother of myself that I can be. And me speaking out about this, it's time. Parenting doesn't come with any book. You're going to do a lot of things that you never thought that you would do, you know. And I'm not going to say, oh, a man made me do this. No, I did it. I did that. And I can accept my flaws and all. I can look in my own mirror. Some people can't do that, but I can. I know the situation. You know what I mean? And I'm not proud of it. Nope, not at all. I went through that situation for about what, 5 years? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 6 years. And then it's just been verbal, more verbal and trying to be emotional, but you can't get me. Can't nobody get me. They try, but they fail every single time because I know me. And the thing about it is, I ain't finna let nobody tell my story. I'm gonna tell my story. This is my story, and I'm gonna tell it. But no, I have not been the best mother throughout the years. Now, I've given them what they needed, yeah, but I wasn't the best mother. I wasn't there mentally. I wasn't there mentally. And I want to be the best mother that I can be. And I've said a thing, I've done a thing, you know, and I can admit that. Now, I ain't never beat my kids. You know, they ain't never got their ass beat. I ain't never been on drugs. You know, I ain't never prostituted. I have never, only thing I've ever went through was domestic violence. That's the only thing, and they seen them go through it. And that affects the kids. A toxic environment affects the kids. It affects the kids. Regardless, it does. And I can admit that, and I know that. And I can own that, and I do. I do. And I allow certain people to come back around because of the kids. And I went back to certain situations because of the son, you know, because I had a baby. They were military. It's, oh my God, if we divorced and something happened, it was just me always thinking away. Let me go back, when I knew it was toxic from the get-go. It was toxic. But at the end of the day, I own my shit. I'm not proud of any of it, but I own it. And I can face my mirror. And that's what people get for trying to judge me. But I can face my shit. In spite of what anybody got to say about it, I can face my shit and own my shit. And I have apologized to my children multiple times and meant it. And I teach my children what I went through. You don't have to go through it. You don't have to. I want better for you. I don't want you to be like me. I want better for you. And I do. I want better for my children. I want a better environment. That's why we live where we live at. They go to the schools that they go to because I want better. You know, mentally, I want to be the best mother that I can be. I want to be able to conversate with my kids. Like, you know, it's, to me, it's certain things that they supposed to know and that they don't supposed to know. It was certain things dealing with the situation where my business was told, and at the age that they were at, that wasn't their business for them to know. You know, it's not like I have multiple men coming in and out of my house, you know. It's not like I'm having sex to multiple people, you know. So my children have never seen no other man besides their daddy or the man that I had a kid by, you know. That's it. Other than that, I haven't been the best parent. I want to give them the best, though. And that's what I work towards every single day. Every single day I work towards giving them the best. And I'm proud of myself for that. I am proud of myself for that. So in spite of what my children have faced, which, like I said, the other two, they were babies. They don't remember any of this. But the oldest two, they remember it all. And I try to change the dynamic of the situation. And I don't try to cover the shit up. It happened, you know. And it's my own fault that it happened. And I can admit that. I can admit that I put my children in that toxic environment. I can admit that. I can admit that they seen a couple of things that happened to me in my life. I can admit that. And I've apologized for that. I have. Now, in spite of how many times a person want to keep bringing it up to my face, oh, you had me in this environment, or you did this to me, you did that to me, it ain't, at this point, it ain't nothing that I could do. I wipe my hands. You ain't going to kill me. You're not going to kill me. But deeply, wholeheartedly, I am very sorry, you know, that I put you in that situation. I did. I put them in a toxic environment for several years. 12, no, because he wasn't there in 12. So I think he came in 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, no, 16, 17, 4 years they were in that environment. 4 years, sorry. Because when he came from his father's house, he came to my house. And the moving around wasn't an issue. It was where we was moving around to, you know. It wasn't no stability. Because if I didn't like a place, I wasn't going to be there, you know. And I thought that I was showing them something different. And it would have been cool if the environment wasn't toxic, if I could have just did it alone. But I can't take it back. And I ain't going to try to take it back. I may want to take it back, but I ain't going to try. You know, I did the best that I could in my toxic environment. I survived through that toxic environment. I survived that. You got mothers out here that beat their kids, try to kill their kids, do kill their kids. And I never tried to do any of that. I actually got into fights for protecting their family. You know, taking up for their family. Not protecting, but taking up for their family. Making it seem like this person's family is better than this. It was all stupid. It was all dumb. You know, it was immature. But I put them through some shit. Toxic. Toxic shit. My daughter went through shit. My son battled through shit. And then he went and lived with his daddy. And God knows what he went through up there. I mean, he went through some shit there too. He done told me. So, yeah. But anyway, always, I'll see y'all in a minute.